Yeah,
totally done it. It's like, it's so fresh in my mind because it'll stay there forever because I remember how much I hated it. I'm being completely honest.
I was about to ask, I'm like, and did it work? Welcome to this week's episode on the Wild Roads podcast. Conversations about how we don't do stuff normal. We're going to talk about bad business moves today. Hi, Shonah.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Really, really good. We're on a roll. This is going to be a good one. I can tell when we started off on the game, we go, oh my God, what are we going to say? Woo! Which is great. It always makes for a good episode. Let's do this. Yeah.
It does. So before we start our podcast episodes, if you're new around here, Shona and I like to start off with oh my God, Paula can't talk. Hashtag awkward question time. And Shona and I like to think of questions and ask each other questions that have like awkward answers. And I thought of a really good question to ask today, Shona.
Yeah.
If you were like hella famous, like, I mean, like, you know, like world famous, like Oprah famous, like the whole world knew who you were.
Yeah.
If you were like that famous, what would be like the scandal that you would be involved in? Because every celebrity I feel has been involved in a scandal of some sort.
This is true. This is true. Whether it's somebody made it up or not, who knows? But all right. Oh, this is a good question. I'd be on the run for something, definitely.
Sean would be in hiding.
I'm thinking I'd burn shit up. Like, apart from telling everyone
like
where to
literally with matches.
No, I'm not.
Sean loves a good fire.
I actually do, but oh no, aside from telling everyone where to shove their bloody drama, I think
Jonah is not here for the drama.
Nah, no way. I'd be on the run from something. I think it'd be I have a fear. Sorry. I'm thinking that I'd go on the run and I would be leaving. I'd like get a new identity and no one would be able to find me and people will assume I'm dead and I'd have this new
fake death.
Yeah, fake death, like Elvis. Is Elvis really dead? Kind of thing. You know that, like, and I would definitely like just go into the woods and just have part of my life where no one knows me. I think that would be cool.
Like, would Sean maybe totally rock and roll it and be like, I can't handle the fame. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fake death it. Because I still want to live life, but not like this.
Yeah, because I get fucking tired. It's like I've got to the point in my life where it's like, I know I can't back it up. I can't go out every weekend or anything. There's no freaking way. I'm just tired. So if I go out, right, which I did in Melbourne a few weeks ago, I went to town. I was wild, right? I was so wild. I had the best night. The next day, I had a few cringy moments the next day when I was like, oh, yeah. But, oh, geez, there's no way I can back it up. I'm tired as. Like, I'm still trying to get over it.
This was a few weeks ago and Shona's still recovering.
I am.
So the answer to this question, Shona, is
yes.
I would get too tired of being famous, so I will fake my own death. That's Shona's scandal.
My manager will have to do a press conference and go, you know what, we don't know where she is, but all we know is she's tired.
last scene saying that she's very tired.
Yes. Can all you fuckers just leave me alone? Oh, Paula to tears. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's my scandal.
Okay. To be
Okay.
honest, not the answer I was
Okay.
actually expecting.
Actually,
I
was
was expecting some kind of rock and roll stunt, but yeah, cool. Let's go. Um, oh, Sean.
Yeah, well, we never prepare for these questions, so whatever comes out first is what's happening.
That's why it's hashtag awkward question time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We
All
wouldn't need a
right.
theme song.
What's
Anyway,
your scandal?
okay. I really do feel like that I would be caught up in some kind of like taking a photo for social media scandal. Like, you know how there's some people that have done some really dumb stuff to take a photo for social media?
Yeah. Yep.
And like there's those like viral videos of just compilations of people doing silly stuff to take photos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've actually even found compilations of people like who have died taking selfies. And there
Oh,
have been some like yeah, some like influencer types that have
I have seen one. Yeah, that was so young,
yeah.
awful. Like off it, yeah, waterfalls and stuff.
Yeah. There was the three that the
Yeah.
girl fell off the waterfall and the two guys went after her to try and save her and they all
Oh,
like I
yeah.
feel like I probably wouldn't do that, but I might with the amount of photos that I take that that like surely there will be a photo that I take and it will like cause an uproar about how I took it or where I was because we're human
Ooh.
and like sometimes we forget things and like do silly stuff. So I feel like it will probably be some kind of photo taking selfie scandal.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
that's cool. You'll be famous. Like, you'll get even more famous. Oh.
Not all publicity is good publicity, though, I do
Well,
believe.
this is a thing. Yes, correct.
Mm. Mm.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening and you want to answer this question, go over to the socials onto Instagrams and tag us in a story and tell us what your scandal would be if you were like Oprah famous.
Yeah,
What was
absolutely.
your
And jump over to Instagram at the Wild Roads Instagram page. We have a page now.
Oh yeah, we do. Let's plug
Yeah.
that. We're
Yeah.
amateurs at plugging on
We are.
ad break. What's the name? What's our handle?
um no. At the.wild.roads.
Because at the Wild Roads was taken,
It
so we
was.
it's the
Yeah.
dot in between. But yeah, it's a baby account. Come over, show us some love, tag us in some stuff. We love to know when people are listening to the episodes and what they got out of them. There has been some really great feedback that we've had so far over the year that we've done this podcast. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's been
let's
amazing.
yeah, and speaking of like that wasn't even a segue, but of like doing stuff.
Mate,
Like
we did a bit of
creating
giveaway
and
stuff.
having a business.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about bad business moves today.
Mm.
And like, I feel like the top three that Sean and I were talking about the other day were like, we need to do a podcast episode on like bad business moves because there's so much information and things out there about, you know, what people should be doing when they're creating businesses and what are good ideas. And we're like, well, what were bad ideas when
Mm.
building our businesses? What were some of the things that we did that didn't work at all?
Yeah. Yep.
And the first one that we're going to talk about, and I feel like this is going to be very relatable to pretty much every entrepreneur in the
Mhm.
world.
Mhm.
I assume there might be one or two unicorns out there that were like, hey, that was never a thing for me. But like
Yeah.
the first bad business, but yeah. The first bad business move, oh my God, that's hard to say, was being on the pursuit to find, you know, that one person who has the magic strategy or the thing that's going to like unlock it all for us.
Yeah, this is big, isn't it? This is, yeah, because,
Like,
yeah.
like who has the formula that just makes it work?
Like, it wasn't the first one I looked up and followed for a year. No, that one didn't work. Wasn't the second one.
Wasn't the 35 following?
No, it wasn't that. It's the next one. The next one's gonna have it.
Oh, wait, no, hang on. This person over here says that this is the way. Okay, I'll get this, and then it's going to unlock everything for me, and my business is just going to go kapow, and it's going to be a thing and successful, and I
Yeah.
found it, and that will be it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Oh my God, hands up everyone who's done that. And I know there would be so many people. But this is that was probably one of my yeah, well it was a bad business move for me, and but I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And especially when you first start out, it's just like there's a pool, like a massive ocean of these leaders and mentors and coaches that you can just take your pick, and obviously you align with someone and someone, but I think at the start it's like the first one that you come across that has the secret sauce, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and you like, okay, I'm going all in. This is going to take me, and I'm going to, in 8 weeks, I'm going to be rich as anything, and
7 steps.
oh, I'm
Get
gonna
it all
I will
done.
nail those 7 steps, and I'll be rich as anything, and I'll be famous. I'll have all these followers. I'll be helping all these people in the world. And yeah, man, that's, you know, that's I think it's pretty much how it goes down. Like that's how I got into it.
Mm.
But yeah, it was a bad business move for me because maybe I stuck around for longer than I should, and I didn't go doing my due diligence. I didn't go looking elsewhere until I started to learn some really hard lessons.
Yeah. I feel like it's going in with that mentality is the bad business move. There are some
Absolutely.
brilliant people sharing some like epic stuff that are really
Yeah.
smart and
Oh,
know some things, and we can learn a lot from other people. We're not
heck
saying like
yeah.
don't invest in learning how to grow your business, but just not from the mentality of, okay, this person's got the strategy that's going to work for me, but rather being really open to like, okay, how do I want to grow my business? What do I want it to look and feel like? And oh, this program over here sounds interesting. This person talking about how they did it in this way sounds really, really interesting, and going with more of an open mind as to
Yeah.
like, okay, what part of this is going to resonate with me that I can try on that might help me on my way.
Yeah.
And it just made me realize after a while that that type of marketing of like, this is the only 3 steps that you need to know in order to make a big business, or
Mhm.
these are like, this is the 5-step plan and it's the only one that you're going to need in order to be able to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
think we're all kind of waking up from that kind of marketing,
Yeah.
and really not falling for it much anymore. And it kind of feels like it feels disappointing because you're like, well, they said it was 5 steps and I did the 5 steps and it didn't work for me. Like, is there
Yes.
something wrong with me, or did I
That's
do it
it.
like? And it can kind of be really off-putting and disheartening, and you keep feeling like what's wrong with me and my business if this isn't working, and they've said that it's like, foolproof or whatever
Yeah.
with anything. And anything that I promote as something that's going to help people in their business, or whatever it is, like, I don't say that it's like, this is the only way, or this is the key, or this is the like, this is the, playing with that marketing of like, everybody, like, this is the only thing you're going to need, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like working with people and showing people that there are different ways to do things, and what we get to do is to try stuff on and
Yes.
feel
Yeah.
like, if that's part of my ingredient over here and this is part of my ingredient, and we really get to make our own like signature cocktail versus like, going and getting the premix. Because who, and
Ah.
this is great because Shonah's still hungover here. That like who, how much worse is a hangover from a premix than like a signature cocktail, so to speak.
Yeah,
Like
with the good
it,
gear.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. You still get you, you still get the same effect at the start. You get that
Mm,
buzz at the start. But this is I absolutely love what you're saying here, Paula, because I have got something out of every single coach and mentor that I've had for the whole time.
mm,
But and no one did anything wrong except for me, but it's like it's the ones where I thought, okay, I'm going to do step by step and copy what you have done, what they have done, that tripped me up because it doesn't
mm.
work for me. I don't work like that. Some parts I did, and the trying stuff on is exactly it. It's nailing that, because if you're trying to copy somebody else's blueprint, their own blueprint that they found,
Mm.
it's not sustainable for you. For me,
No.
it's not you can't sustain it because you work in different ways, and the clients that come to you are different people. Like, everything's relative, but it's
Yeah.
like it's really, it's finding what suits you when you wake up to when you go to sleep at night, and how that works for you, how it feels good for you. Because not everyone's systems are going to work for you.
No. And there might be some people that do the program that are like, "Oh my gosh, this worked so well for me." And
Absolutely.
that's awesome. Like, yeah, but it's there's also, yeah, like what you said, it's like not everything works for everybody in the same way. And we're not all starting from the same position
Yeah,
anyway.
that.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? I find certain parts of my business really easy, while other people find that part hard, and other
Yeah.
parts that I find hard easy, and vice
Yep.
versa. We all come at it with like, beliefs and conditioning and thinking things are certain ways because of our past experiences, that when you then move in the business world and creating your own business, it's like a lot of that gets challenged, and you have to open that up and see things from other viewpoints, and be solid in other areas of like, well, this is going to how it's going to work for me. And it's like the results come when you really find what works for you, your nervous system,
Yes.
what you're actually wanting to do, how you're wanting to make an impact, and what feels safe for you in your body, and how big you see your vision too. Like, that's got a lot to
Mhm.
do with it. And if that is actually true for you, because some people build businesses and they don't want to have big empires that like are taking over the
This is it.
world that
This is
everybody
it.
knows about.
Yep.
And success for them might be a very different vision than what success for you is as well. And so no, it's not going to take the same steps to build.
That's
And
true.
yeah, and it's different between, all the other little nuances that are out in this entrepreneurial world. Like, people are selling different things to different people, products and services, and it's not
Mm.
always going to be the same thing. But yet we always seem to think, well, everybody that I've spoken to anyway is like, oh, I was always searching for like the one person who had the way, or I was always thinking like everybody else knew a
Yeah.
secret and I didn't know what that secret was. So I was trying to find the person who was going to tell me what the missing thing was.
Yeah, like
That's,
there's some kind of underworld, you know?
oh yeah, there's some kind of magic something that's going on here that nobody's talking about that
That's
means
it.
that you get successful.
Yeah,
And yeah, we're just got to find out what that is, because
that's it.
I clearly don't have it. And it's so interesting when you really become aware of that, and you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe there isn't just like one secret and one way. Maybe
Yep.
we all get to have it to work how we're going to want it to work, because that's going to be sustainable. Like what you said, like, it's not sustainable trying to burn yourself out doing it in a way that's not really going to work for you. Like, it
Mhm.
can work,
Yeah.
but that's why there's so many people like shutting businesses down or taking
Yeah.
leave and hiring out all of the work because they can't actually physically do it anymore because it's burnt them
Yeah.
out, or they've built something and then they've just gone, actually, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted to do before.
Yes. There's that as well. If you're not enjoying it,
Yeah.
you
And I
know?
feel like we're so looking at it from what's missing and this isn't working. So how do I fix it? Versus, okay, well, why don't I just try some stuff? And then what is working? I'll just keep doing that and following that rather than trying to fix all the things or trying to find why it's not working.
Mm.
We all know like what you focus on is what gets magnified and amplified. So why
Yeah.
don't we look at what's working for us
Yeah.
and just trust that if we keep moving towards what's working in our business, like the rest of the stuff is all gonna like
Yes.
follow suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Plus, try, like you said before, try things on. Because
Yeah.
you might feel like, oh, I can't do a live. I'm not doing lives. I'm just going to write or do some, some videos, and pre-record videos and put them up, which is fine, right? Some people don't like doing lives, but I'm like really would encourage people to go just try it though. Like, because you
Yeah. You
might
don't
love
know.
it. You don't know. You might have all these people jump on and comment, and all of a sudden you're getting download and you're responding to their comments, and all of a sudden your wisdom and your genius is coming out, and you get off and you go, oh my god, I am so elated right now. Like,
Mm.
imagine if you didn't, and that became a part of your signature move, that you do these lives, right? Or even like, I can't, record videos, or I can't, like, or you don't want to, just because you got some nerves kind of thing. It is about trying things on, because it might be the very thing that does move the needle for you, and it might be the very thing that becomes a big part of your brand. So yeah, definitely try things on, but it's not going, okay, I need to,
It has
um
to be this way.
it has to be this way. Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I was
I have
going.
to suck it up until I do like it.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get that. When I first started doing live streams, I was so nervous and I would
Mm.
sweat out of every single pore of my body. And I would be like, kind of like deer in the headlights. And
Yeah.
like in my head, I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Shut up. You sound boring. Like, say something. Was it like I was a mess on the inside? And I look back at like some of my first live streams and I'm like, I don't actually come across as like being that nervous, but I remember I was, and I'd get off
Yeah.
and I'd have to go change my clothes and have a shower because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so sweaty. That was
Yeah.
like so, oh my God. And I'd be like on this kind of like, I don't know, like just my body would be buzzing afterwards with all this adrenaline because I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, like that
Yeah.
was scary. But there was always a part of me that was like, this is what we're going to do though.
Yeah.
Like, this is good for us.
Hmm.
Versus, if you do that and you're like, nah, like that's a hard no for me, and I don't ever want to do that again. Don't push yourself to do it. You don't have to do
Yeah, that's
live
right.
videos at all. But
That's
like,
it.
find ways that you can help people that really help you bring your voice, your expression, your personality across to people, because that's what's really going to, if you're someone who's in a very similar, I don't want to say niche. We don't like that word, but like
No.
you're in a you're you're selling services or products that are very similar to other people, right? The way that you differentiate yourself is by bringing your personality and your own unique flavor to that. So if you're
Hmm.
going to try and do things in your business that you're in like robotic, I've got to hustle, I just have to do this because this is the way that I've got to do it mode, you're not naturally going to be in an energy that's going to allow your personality and your life force energy, like the part, like when you're in a moment and you're just loving life and you're just so free to express yourself, like that energy is what's going to really come out on the internets and into your business. So
Hmm.
really do more of the things that you can feel inside you kind of bring you alive. They might be a bit scary, it might be a bit weird, and you're like, oh, this is really strange, like talking on the internet, like live to people. This is so, like, it's a weird thing to do, to like,
Yeah.
and not know who's like they're watching sometimes. Like it's strange.
It is.
But it's like the more that you, and sometimes I still get nervous doing live streams. I think it depends on what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
yeah, but for the most part I don't anymore, which is great.
Yeah.
But there'll
Momentum
be, yeah.
keeps that, you just keep going and you just get good at things. And it's not even like sometimes, like if I do a live, and I haven't done one for a while. Oh my gosh. It's like I've never done one before in my life. It's just like, oh man, it's so bad. But it's like I have to get it over and done with and like just get on with it. Because otherwise, if I keep stopping myself, the very next one's going to be the same. The very next one's going to be the same. So it is that
Yeah.
momentum and getting yourself past that point. And you know what? If you've done it 10 times and you're still like, I really hate this, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you know there's a part of you that's like, yeah, but when I do live streams, like a part of me comes alive and it's
Yeah.
not really replicable.
Replicable.
Yeah, that word. Replicatable.
Yeah, that's
How do you
it.
say it? Is it replicable
Replicable.
or replicatable? And I homeschool my children. This is scary. No.
Change it around. If you can't replicate it.
Because that, yeah, exactly. Like there's certain ways of sharing and delivering content and giving people value and helping people. There's it's so great that we've got all of these different ways that we can do that, because
Yeah.
there's certain parts of you that come alive that can't be replicated through, like, writing a post or whatever. And I know what you mean. Like there is, when I do live streams and I jump on and I've got something to talk about, and then I'm in conversation with people, and I do notice that, like, most of the times when I do that, I get to a point where I'm like downloading stuff and it's coming
Mm.
through me, rather than me having to think about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, and I better say it in this way so people understand, and like getting too heady with it, but just allowing it to come through as it wants to come through. That I say some really great stuff in ways that I wouldn't have articulated before. So it helps me to build my brand and my business and keep it evolving and going deeper into the work, because I allow the channels of communication and the way that I communicate and create in ways that really bring my life force energy alive. Like it really helps me to go deeper in the work, and I can see where, oh, okay, this has come through now on how I speak about this. Like I've found a new way to articulate it. I found an even deeper way to explain this part of it, because I
Mm.
do talk about it. And I allow myself to do that. And I allow myself to fuck it up and like mumble my
Yeah.
words and be all like, blah, 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 blah. Like I
Yeah.
don't die when that happens. People don't come at me with pitchforks and be like, you're a terrible person for
That's
stumbling
it.
on a podcast or a live stream. Like, people
Yeah.
are like, oh, she's human.
This is
I do
it.
that.
This is it.
That's
This is
funny.
it.
You made me
And
giggle.
you
Thank you.
do, you do. And this and this is why it's beautiful to find yourself and not try and find that one person that's going to make you rich, one person that's going to get you to that place you want to be, because
Mm.
in doing that, you're not finding yourself.
No, and even putting the pressure on the other person that, like, you're
Well,
it. You're my
true.
golden ticket. Show me how to do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, okay.
This is a thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I'm responsible for your success. Okay.
speaking about sweating.
Let's
Oh my gosh.
because
Yeah.
it's all about you taking responsibility. Like, this is your work, this is what you're creating.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Nobody's
Yep.
here to save you. You're building this yourself, and there are people out here who want to help you and want to hold
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and do all that they can to possibly help get you to where you're wanting to go. But it's up
Exactly.
to you to really do it with intention and not hold other people accountable, but like yeah, we've had some experiences where like we've bought something and it promised something and then we didn't get that. And it's like, oh, that's disappointing. But at the same time, it's like, but that's actually, I've learned something from that.
Of
I've
course.
learned that that's not how I want to do it
That's it.
because that was not a great experience for
That's
me. And
it.
it didn't
And
feel
that's
good.
fine. And we move on. And the world
We move
didn't
on.
end.
We go, you do you, boo.
Yeah,
But that was a no
exactly.
for me. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Cheerio.
Yeah. This is the thing. But the thing is, if you're going to invest in something, like invest in it. Like even
Exactly. That's why it's
right.
called investment. It's not just the
Exactly.
money, you're investing your whole self. The money
Yeah.
is just the exchange. So
Yes.
like the investment is you saying, yes, okay, I'm going to exchange with this money and I'm investing my time, I'm investing my energy, I'm investing my commitment to this space to make
Yeah.
it whatever it needs to be for me right now. Because
Yeah.
I've gotten the call to come in
That's
here.
it. Yeah.
Something inside of me went, oh, I want that. And
Yep.
so I did, and I listened to that.
Mhm.
Whether it was a, oh, I want that because I'm afraid of missing out. And I think that's going to be the thing. Or it's a, oh, I want that because something inside of you was like, this has something for you. But
Yes.
you don't know until you keep practicing this over and over again. Like throughout this process and, buying into things that I thought were the magic pill, it's like I learned how to really trust my intuition.
Yeah.
I really learned how to listen to my yeses and my nos because, if you're into human design, like is it called splenic? The spleen, the
The
one that's
spleen
like
and yeah.
your intuition. That's how I know, like that's my authority.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's totally okay. We have an episode with Michelle Wong about human
Yes.
design.
Check
Go
it
listen to
out.
that one. And then also I am a generator, so I do have the sacral, which is like I have something inside of me that just goes yes or no to like if I say, is this of my best interest to do this? Or,
Yeah.
for the good of all, if I do this, I'll have a response inside of me that says yes or no to that.
Yeah.
And it's how good I listen to that. And if I didn't listen to that, and I invested the money, that was my bad. It wasn't their bad. It's just like their offer could be a great offer and it helps a lot of people and it's got lots of great information, but it just might not have been right for me and I didn't listen to that. But it's such a beautiful lesson because I'm like, oh, it's really important for me to
Mm.
listen to when my
Mm.
soul's telling me yes or no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love that. I love what you're saying because it's like no one's actually ever wrong. It's and a bad
No.
experience. It's kind of like it's like going to a restaurant and you and I both having the same pasta and you really love it and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It doesn't. It's cooked by the same person. It's got the same love in it. It's just different perspective.
Yeah.
We're at a different thing. I might be just sick of pasta because I've had it for the last 5 years every night. Like,
Or
you know
maybe
what I
you're
mean?
picky on the garlic and I love garlic. And you're like, yeah, garlic's not so great.
Yeah, that's right. That's all it like, and if you just drop your guard, drop your shoulders about that and just like go, okay, well that was an experience and what I've learned and take away the gift or the learning that you got,
Mm,
just do that.
yeah.
I say.
I really
But
want to go eat pasta now.
oh yeah, I know. I was just like,
I've
bit
been
of garlic
like,
pasta
well,
would be
mostly gluten free for a while. Pasta is like, I haven't had it in ages. I really want some now.
good. Okay, I have got a really cool gluten-free pasta
Can
recipe
you
for
send
you.
it to me?
Oh my god, it is so good and so freaking easy. Oh my god.
Okay.
All right.
If
Anyway,
anybody else needs gluten free pasta advice, please hit up Sean. She has the magic pill.
if you know, you know. Anyway, sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one, like that one, I feel like is very relatable across the board. So the next one is like, I've done this one too, is creating what people wanted me to create. Have you
Oh
done
my
this? Have you had somebody like a beautiful soul who loves what you do
Yep.
and like may have been in stuff before and said, you know what I would really love for you to create is like something like this. And you just going, oh, something that somebody wants that I pretty much already got people wanting to buy. that I'll just create that. That'll be an easy thing for me to create.
Yeah. Totally done it.
Yeah, me
Totally done it. It's like, it's so fresh in my mind because it'll stay there forever because I remember how much I hated it.
too.
I'm being completely honest.
I was about to ask him like, and did it work?
The thing is, it was definitely I responded. So I like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. I kind of eat this, I do this thing like eating breakfast. Like it's just, like it's easy. I'll do
Yeah.
it. I'll sell it, and
Quick money.
quick money. And if you're excited, other people will be excited.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't need to be excited because you're excited for me. Okay, I can do
yeah,
this. Let's just
that
do it.
that
Yeah.
right. Anyway, I had a couple of people come, and the person that suggested it didn't show up.
Mm,
And didn't even bother, didn't even go, how'd it go? Nothing. It was just nothing. And it was just like the whole time I did it, I was just like, I'm really not enjoying this.
mm,
This isn't my jam. I know I can do it because I've been doing it for years and years and years and years and years and years. And it's just a little tiny thing of what I did. You know what I mean? And it was
mm,
a seasonal thing.
mm.
And oh man,
Beautiful.
that was the best lesson I've ever learned in my whole entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
It's not to create something in response on a whim to someone suggesting it.
That's the thing, on a whim and just going,
That's
somebody's
it.
asked me to do this specific thing. I
Yeah.
will do it because they're excited and they're hot to buy, and
Yep.
I'll put it out there. But then it doesn't sell. And I've done this before. And even the person who suggested it didn't actually buy it. And I was like, what the hell? But
Yeah.
I was like, ah, it's because when I've put it out there, it didn't work because it wasn't coming from a space of me
Come-
going, I need to create this because this is like alive in me right now. It was like
Exactly.
me serving up a dead fish to
Yeah.
people,
Yep.
going, here you go, here's your fish.
Yep.
Instead of like, a bright, shiny one that's swimming around in a fishbowl. And I'm like, here's your happy little fish. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, like I just picked it up and just went, here you go. And it's like there was no life in it. This is the thing, right? That can work in business. And there's so much marketing and advice out there that says, look at the market that you want to be in, find out what people need help with, and then look at your skill set and provide them a solution. And I get that. That's like smart business, right?
Yeah. It
But
is.
at the
Yeah.
same time, not all of us are here to create businesses that are being built in a way where they're more focusing on, you got a problem, I'll solve your problem. Here you go, here's your problem. Like
Yeah.
here's the solution to your problem. Like that's the energy that I feel around that kind of business. And that's great because sometimes I do have a problem and I just want somebody to be like, here's the solution. Cool, thanks. But like when for me and how I'm here to help the world, that's not it.
No. Yeah. We just work differently.
That's right. And I'm like, we're not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just like it was
No.
a bad business move for us because, like, our whole business, the reasons why we created businesses was because we wanted to have fun. We wanted to be in love with
Mhm.
the work that we did. We wanted to
Yeah.
help people from a human to human space. We want to create businesses that really nurtured us and our families and allowed us to thrive and to really have more freedom in our lives to do more things that were fun,
Yeah.
and our work be a part of that versus
Yes.
work being a machine
Yeah.
and or a place that we just went to get money and then we just did stuff like we're not into that. That works for people, and that's great, and yay for you if that's you. But like when you're wanting to build a business in this way, that is really bad. Like that's a bad business move. Sometimes though, you might have people come up to you and go, hey, I would really love to learn this from you. And
Mm.
if you check in with yourself and you be like, oh yeah, I could teach that, and oh, I could do it in this way, and that brings you alive, then that's going to be like a great business move for you. That's going to be
Yeah.
something really, really cool for you to create. But if it is something that you feel like, oh, I'll do it because that would just be quick money and people are ready to buy, it's kind of like it's going to be a real hard sell, I find.
Yeah, it is.
Not like you have to hard sell people, but like it's going to be hard for you to get your energy behind it and sell it in
Yeah,
a way that feels congruent for you, that feels integrity for you and the business that you're creating.
yeah.
So quite often in that way, it doesn't work because you're like, well,
No,
I don't actually really want to do this.
that's it. This is the thing. It's like we're in the business of human connection, right? So we're a service, we're service based, and we are, we're very hands on, high touch, the way we do things. Whereas it's different for a product, perhaps, that your product is, you can sell it that way. But like as an analogy, it's kind of like, well, you're selling a garlic peeler when you don't peel garlic. When you cook, you smash it and you do the rustic,
Yeah.
but you're out there selling the best um thing that's been invented that you can just like flick your garlic over and it peels it for you. You know what I
But
mean?
how can
Like if
that be? You just like, boop, garlic's done.
garlic stuff, how good? Yeah, there's an idea for you, entrepreneurs. Um, but yeah, like you know what I mean. So you got to be like, if you
Mm.
love getting your hands in there and rustic cooking and like really like getting in, that's
And
kind
that's
of
your
how you do
vibe.
it.
Yeah.
How Yeah, how you live life is how you sell. How you buy is how you sell. Like whatever's congruent for you, what's aligned with you, what is easy for you because it's innate in you to love that and be passionate about it.
Mm. Yeah. There was something that I've noticed is around how people buy. And with me, it was kind of like, you notice some people are like, yeah, I'm in straight away. And they'll like be like, yep, pay, done.
Yeah,
I mean, yay, this is amazing. And like when you look at and then other people will come and check you out a few times and then they'll make a move.
yeah,
And so when you look at like when you are putting something out there and you're launching it for a certain amount of time, and you're like, okay, so here's my thing, here's my course, here's my service, here's my product, here's my whatever it is. And then you've set an amount of time before, like, when you've started, and then when the product's going to be delivered, or the service is going to happen, or the container's going to
mhm,
open, or whatever it is.
yeah,
There's like waves that you have to ride throughout that with your own energy and belief in yourself, and like how you feel about the thing, because there's always a honeymoon period at the beginning and you're so damn excited and you're like, this is
yeah,
the best thing ever, oh my
yeah,
god. And you talk about it and you talk about it and you talk about it, and then after a few days it's kind of like, okay, I've been talking about it, surely everybody knows about it by now. And like your energy kind of goes up and down, and you got to keep reminding yourself why you're doing this and what this is. Like, yeah, you're always going to be excited about it, but I always find that first like initial part of the launch, like that kind of energy is like so sacred, and it's like it's like the best bit.
yeah,
And like that, like if you're trying to ride out that launch of a thing when you don't even have that at the beginning, like that honeymoon period of like,
yeah,
I came up with this idea, or this, somebody gave me this idea and I'm like so super excited about it. But if
mm,
somebody's given you an idea and you're not super stoked about it and you're just seeing it as like a good way to get some quick cash and whatever, and your launching style is showing up and telling people what it is from you, um, versus other business ideas of like, creating billboards and marketing like that. Like,
yeah,
we come onto the social medias and we tell people about the things that we've got going on, and
yeah,
we show people about the things that we've got going on. So your energy behind it is super important. So if it's painful having to write out a whole launch when you didn't even have that initial real burst of energy that you could keep coming back to like, not keep coming back to, but I know for me, when I sort of dip in a launch with my energy, and like I might be having a day where like just stuff's funky and I'm like, I don't feel like
yeah,
I'm really
yep,
excited
to
about this today, or I don't feel
mhm,
like I've got the energy to come at the internet and tell people how excited I am today. I'm kind of tired. like
Yeah.
Sean does sometimes. She's getting tired. But like, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
then look at, I'm like, okay, well, what were some of the posts that I wrote like earlier on? Can I repurpose those? Can I like,
Yeah.
is there something in that that I could at least like come on and do like a quick live stream about and really capture that energy around that again? Because
Yeah.
if you don't have that, then you can't really, it's going to be so painful and so hard and so draining to try and do a whole launch
There's nothing to tap
without it.
into. There's nothing to tap into. I do that,
Yeah.
Paula. Like I will go back if I'm having a dip. I will go back to one of the very first posts and
Mm,
I will read it and tap
yeah.
into that energy
Yeah.
and get it back again. And then and it comes back. Whereas if it's not birthed from me and it's an idea from somebody else, there's nothing to tap into.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I've noticed with, some people are like, "Yep, I'll buy that," and they're straight in, and other people are like, "Oh, this sounds really cool. Let me think about, let me feel into like if this is a yes for me." Because some people,
Yeah.
yeah, like what we were saying, like sacral's like, "Yep, no, okay, that's not for me. Cool, I'll move on. Yes, that is okay. I'll buy it."
Yeah.
And other people need to really ride a wave to feel into like, is
Yeah.
this what I'm here for? And this is the thing, like if they came back a few days later to then purchase it, but then there's something off with your energy, they're going to be like, oh, did I really want this? Because this is feeling different this time that I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, really, really being careful of like when people come with ideas. And it's great when people ask for certain things because oh, okay, so there's something within my body of work that maybe there's a gap in here that I can fill somehow with this kind of information or this kind of teaching to be able to help people. So it's good to look at it and be like, okay, cool. I can see that. Is it something that I actually want to do in this way?
Yeah.
Yes, no. If it's not, then is there another way that I could possibly share this kind of information in a way that does feel good for me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be
Mm.
curious. Look around, try it all on. But I get, yeah, it's not acting from a whim, like not going, oh, yeah, cool. Actually, I'll launch that today. I'll launch that tomorrow, you know? It
Yeah, I'll
doesn't.
just pack that up and launch it in my rocket and put it out there and woo, money comes in, yay. Like sometimes things take off and launch really, really well, and you're like, why did that? And then
Yeah.
other things like you think that are going to launch really well, then didn't. And it's so
Mhm.
interesting when you look back in hindsight and you can go, at the time I didn't see it, but now I can see it because
Yeah.
you can really look at where the best things that I ever launched that did really, really well was like I launched something because I was excited about it and I had zero expectation of like what it was going to look like or
Yeah.
like how many people were going to join or,
Yeah.
um, I might have had some kind of idea of like, oh, it'd be cool if like just, 10 people join this and then all of a sudden there's 50 and you're like, holy cow, what just happened? Like what?
Yeah.
Because you were just in the excitement of it and sort of detached so much from it all. And then other times you might be so excited about something, but you're like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever. Like 5,000 people are going to come and buy this and this is going to be so good and blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't. And it's like, oh, like it's really
Hear crickets.
interesting to
Yeah.
see how much the way that we put things out there
Yeah.
can affect the results. And then also, yeah, it's like, were the people that you're talking to that's in your audience right now, like were they even aware that this was a thing for you? And maybe you've shocked them and you've all of a sudden come out with something that's totally different too.
Yes.
Because even that is a thing. Like if somebody's asked you to do something, it could be different from what you've done before. And it's like you bring it out and then people are like, what? What is this?
And is this the same person? Yeah,
Why are
I
you doing
totally
this?
get that.
This does not feel like you right now. Because
This
people are
isn't.
like that. They're very cluey. Even if they can't articulate it or know why, like they'll feel something off and they're like, something's not
Come
like,
on.
I don't
Yeah.
know about this. I like what you're saying, but there's something inside of me that's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
And then the last one that we wanted to to bring into this conversation today is the needing to be liked by everyone, or the not wanting to be too polarizing, or wanting to be sort of palatable for everybody. I think that's more of what I'm trying to say here, is like the needing to be liked by everybody, like trying to be everything to everyone. Like everybody likes me, everybody just wants to buy from me. I'm just like, I'm doing this, and everybody's just got great things to say about me. And I
Yeah.
feel like that is a bad business move, because like you don't like everybody.
No, this is
Why do you expect everybody to like you? First and foremost.
I don't be an
Like,
asshole though. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like I'll just drive by you. It's fine. You know, and I think I think this is a really good point, because it comes from sometimes, I'm not speaking for everybody here, but sometimes it comes from a place of when people are assholes and you are actually wanting to avoid confrontation. And so
yeah,
you stop, like, your throat chakra, you're blocked here. You're not saying what you want to say, and what's your message and what you truly are, because of the fear of someone commenting that could be confrontational.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why, like, just stops you in your tracks, really.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, a common phrase was, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that
Oh
emphasis
yeah,
on being a nice person.
that's it, exactly. So everyone will like you, everyone will praise you, and you're safe.
Yeah. And I totally get it.
Oh, same.
Absolutely. But what I like to teach my kids is that, like, niceness and kindness is actually not the same thing. And we don't have to be nice to people just because, it's nice to be nice to people. Actually, it's not.
This is
Like,
good.
it's not kindness to be nice to everybody. And there are certain situations where you not sticking up for yourself and saying what you truly believe is not nice, and is not an act of kindness. And this is very nuanced stuff, and it's something that we get to really explore for ourselves what that
Yeah,
is. But it's really playing into the world of, like, if I'm just nice to everybody, then where are your boundaries?
that you get run over. Like, people walk all over you.
It just and it's so important when you are an entrepreneur, and when you're building a brand, and you are the person of your business, to have some strong boundaries of, like,
Yeah,
what's okay and what's not okay. Because if you just feel like you need to be nice to everybody because you don't want anybody not to like you, that you're going to end up doing stuff like what we were talking about before. Like, you're going to end up doing stuff that's going to drain you, and it's not going to feel good, and you're going to end up hating what you're doing, or feeling depleted from what you're doing, because you're just trying to be nice to everyone. I just want everybody to get along and like me, and not, like, say any mean things, or, like,
yeah,
I just want to be seen as a nice person and all this. Like, people will know you have a kind heart when you are kind, and you don't have to sugarcoat anything for anyone when it's coming from truth, and when it's coming from love.
yeah,
And not everybody is here to like you. Like, there's billions and billions of people on the planet, and the chances are that not every single one of them is going to like you, and you're not going to like everybody else on the planet.
that's
So
it. That's
it's
it.
kind of like it's like, who am I to expect everybody to like me anyway? Like, what even is that?
It's a little bit arrogant, really, isn't
It is.
it?
Arrogance is not nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but it's not really doing you a service, because you're editing a lot of your expression if you're just trying to put it out there, and it's like, oh, I'll just be nice. Like,
you're diluting yourself.
you are diluting yourself, and you're not really going to help the people that you're here to help, and it's going to be lukewarm,
Yeah,
and
neutral.
people are like, oh yeah, she's nice. yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice over here. Like,
Yeah.
you want people to be in your world and feel lit up and be like, holy cow, what's going on? This is so exciting, and I feel so
Yes.
alive, and this and that, and she said that, and I don't really agree with it, but I don't care because she's doing this, and I love this.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many different dimensions to everybody that like show people all sides of you. I don't agree with everything that I don't even agree with everything that you are about and that you do, Shona. It's
Of
not like I'm
course.
going to be like, Shona, you're dead to me. Like, it's just like, that's so interesting that she thinks about it that way. I think
Yeah,
about it this way. Yeah, cool. Let's have a conversation about that. That's awesome.
exactly.
And like, we don't have to be like, not everything has to be a debate or like I'm right, and you're wrong. But I know
No.
that there is a lot of this in the world, and we're sort of yeah, from a young age it's like pick a side. What's the right answer? Like the whole schooling thing, we could go on and on and on about that, but
Mm,
like wanting to be right, I think, is another one. Wanting to be right and wanting to be nice about that and not
mm,
make anybody else feel wrong as
yeah,
well. But I really think it's not doing anybody any favors for you wanting everybody to like you and trying to be nice to everybody. Kindness is so important, but kindness is always also boundaries. Kindness is also self-love. Kindness is also
yeah,
sticking up for yourself.
yeah.
Kindness is also speaking up when you see that there's something that's not quite right here. And like, that also means doing it with respect
Mm-hmm.
and doing it from a place of emotional intelligence
Yeah.
and not finger pointing and blaming and like spewing your opinions all over the internet and being like, well, I'm standing up for myself. I'm setting boundaries, and like, it's up to you how you play with this, but the need to be nice to everybody, or the need or the opposite of that is like, well, I'm going to speak my truth and um not really care about what anybody else thinks. Like, there seems to be two extremes, and when we are wanting to have everybody like us, it kind of creates this lukewarm effect of like, yeah, it's nice over here, but then if there's like the wanting to be polarizing and be really strong in what you're saying so that you can really get your point across, like, I love how people can speak with such conviction about what they truly believe in, but when
Yeah.
it comes from a like us versus them mentality,
Yes.
and people jump on bandwagons and things,
Mm.
and it just, yeah, I really do believe if we all speak our truth and we do it with kindness and with love, then we can all show a little bit more respect of everybody's opinions and be more
Oh,
open-minded about things and be like, yeah, that's cool. I don't really see it that way, but that's cool. I see what you like. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. I love it. That was perfectly said because we all belong here. We all
Mm.
put on this earth, we have different makeups, different perspectives, different lenses. And so to think that everyone should look through your lens and that, if they don't, the world's going to end. So I don't know. I agree with you, but I will say something. This is
Yeah.
this is a very vulnerable little thing, right? When you're like, I don't even agree with you, Shane. Like, I'm like, what? What? What do you mean you don't agree with me? What the fuck?
Like, do you
But
know
I
what I
can
mean? Like, that's the thing. I don't say to you, Shona, you're wrong here.
no, no,
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, okay. Like, I see your point.
yeah, I know. And this is the thing. This is the thing, right? So the very smallest thing, even though I'm one of those people who have always said, you do you, boo. Like, let people be people. I don't care what you do. Don't hurt people, but I don't care what you do. Right.
Mm.
And that's kind of where I'm at. But this is where it's beautiful to have a sisterhood and to surround yourself by people that feel this way, that are absolutely respectful about what you do, because there was a tiny little thing in my tummy that happened when you said that.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah. And so it's like, it was like a, oh, like, it wasn't like, it's good. It's fantastic, right? But I like, because I notice little things that happen in my body where oh, that's an activation,
Yeah.
like, this little thing, right? So I notice that, and I can work through things really easily because I've been doing it for such a long time. But can you imagine when people are starting their businesses online and somebody says that to them, and it's just like, it's not just a little niggle, it's a full blown, oh, okay,
You
like,
don't agree with me? Yeah.
yeah, like, am I wrong? You know, am I, and really like, it's a confidence, like, they could really lose their self-confidence with that and
Mm.
give up, and then start it's a real it's a cycle, and then it's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Do you know what? Like, it's like when you see somebody share something so, like, I see this quite a lot. Like, I might have been talking about a certain thing in a certain way, and then I'll see somebody else come out and say something in the, like, in another way, like about that thing, and be like, people who think about it like this, that's wrong. Like, this is the way it needs to be. And like,
mhm,
they've got a strong opinion about it. I'm like, are they like attacking me?
yeah, yeah,
And you take it as like this personal thing, and it's like they might not have even heard of you or like seen what you've written. This
yeah,
is coming alive for them. Like,
yeah,
we're all here to have different viewpoints, which is so cool. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's like it does. There's when you really play into like, am I right or am I wrong? Which was
mhm,
a big one for me too, is like, and I'm getting better with this, of like, I don't want to be wrong. So maybe I really don't feel like I like having strong opinions about things. I like being really open-minded, but there are certain things where I'm like, yeah, like I like this viewpoint of this thing, but it's like when somebody's really got a strong opinion and it's kind of different to mine, I'm like, oh, does that make mine wrong? Because they're so
yeah,
sure
yeah,
that theirs is right.
that's it.
And it's like a confidence thing. And if you're like, yeah,
Mhm,
I kind of think this and I kind of think that, like, that's okay. I fully own that, like, a lot of the time on many issues, I'm quite on the fence. I'm like, yeah, I can see it from this point of view and I can see it from this point of view. And like, I know that probably pisses a lot of people off, but I don't care. Um, but in other, like, there are things that I feel strongly about, like
yeah,
homeschooling my kids, for example, is something that I feel very strongly about. I don't feel like the schooling system is built for the majority of human beings. I think it's at a point now where like the system's really not working and it's not providing what it needs for a lot of people, but it's what we know, and
mhm,
it's what we've invested a lot of time and money and resources into, and we keep trying to make it like a thing. And I feel like it's too big of a thing now for the governments to just go, oh well, we'll just rebuild it in a way like this. But like, like, I get kind of heated about that. But
yeah.
at the same time, like, if you choose to put your kids in school and you love that idea and it works for you, I'm not going to go around and say you're doing it wrong.
No, gosh,
And I'm
no.
not going to like tell you that you should really take your kids out of school and homeschool it because this and this and this and this and this. Like, that's what I believe for me and what's best for me and my children and like our family. But like, it doesn't it doesn't mean that how you're doing it is wrong. It
No.
doesn't mean that how I'm doing it is wrong in your perspective either, even though we love to kind of point out when people are doing it wrong.
I actually find it uncomfortable. I can't do it. I can't tell people when they're doing things wrong. I just physically can't say you're doing that wrong.
Sean, Sean sits there and she's like, "God, they're doing it wrong."
I just go, "You'll
Like,
find out. You'll work it out."
oh, I'll get there.
Oh, look, no,
Um,
I mean, like, as an opinion thing,
yeah.
I can never say your opinion's wrong to anybody. There's no way in heck I would ever say that.
Well, we all have the right to our own opinions.
Absolutely.
Like very opinionated people like to remind us, we all have a right to our own opinions. It's like, yeah, we do.
Just make sure they're like mine.
Isn't it so fascinating how people can like get so caught up in what's right and what's wrong, but don't actually like the thought about them being wrong is not even in their sphere. Do you know what I mean? Like they get so caught up, like I'm right, you're wrong, and it's like, but it's like the awareness, the awareness of even just like, what if you're like, there's like a 1% chance that you could be wrong, like
No.
like that doesn't even come in. Like there, I know we've said this on a podcast before. Like even scientists change their minds
They
about stuff.
do. Mate, I got sent a
We
I
don't know everything.
I got sent a picture from the 50s or 60s. It was in black and white, right? And it's obviously something that was, back then. And I got sent yesterday, and it was from Simon's uncle. And he goes, "Yeah, this is back in the day." And it was a man in hospital, right? In a hospital bed. And the nurses were coming around with snacks for him to have, plus a box of cigarettes that he could choose which cigarettes he wanted to the
Classic
canteen lady.
example. Smoking's so healthy for you guys.
Right? These are the cigarettes the doctors recommend.
Seriously. If I
Go
love
on.
that episode. Okay, let's end in this. Let's paint a picture for people. I love that episode where of Friends. Did you watch Friends? Is
Yeah,
that
I loved it.
yeah. You know how Phoebe has that conversation with Ross and tries to like doesn't believe that evolution happened. She like
Oh, I don't
questions it, and
remember
he's
that
like,
one.
but how do you like, and he's like, it's like, how do you not believe in evolution? And he's like, his whole world is like, is that. And she's
Yes, that's it.
like, yeah, it's a cool story, but like he's like, his mind is literally blown that she can't,
Yeah,
like, she's not 100% sold on it. And then
yeah.
she's like, she asked him, she's like, isn't there just like a teeny tiny, like we thought the world was flat and then it turns out it was round? And she's like, isn't
Mhm.
there like a teeny tiny little possibility that scientists could be wrong about this? And he kind of
Yeah.
pauses and he's like, oh, well, actually, yeah. And she
Mm.
like starts laughing. She's like, oh my God, you caved. Like I wasn't expecting that sort of thing. And it's so funny, but it is. It's like, not like, what is absolute truth?
Mm. That's another episode for another day, I
Yeah.
reckon. Because you could go so far into that. I love it. So this is the thing, right? The thing is that you're not going to be liked by anybody, but you can lead from grace. And you can absolutely be respectful of other people's opinions and the
Yeah.
evolution of what, you thought was right before, and now you might go, "Oh, actually, be graceful in that and lead the way."
That's a really good point there, because if you're in it for the long haul and you're on the social medias
Oh,
and
yeah.
on the internet posting stuff, it's there for life, baby. Like
Yes.
you might go back and delete it, but it could be still lurking around somewhere and come back to bite you in the fucking ass. So if you are like putting stuff out that is very much of that flavor, and then one
Mm.
day you decide, oh wait, the scientists were wrong on this one. World is not flat, it's round. Although there are some people who still believe that that's not true, but like
True.
it, like there's always this like possibility of the probability, or however the scientists say it. Like maybe just keep that in the back of your mind too.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there might be a moment where you're like, I know I used to say this, but don't actually believe that anymore.
That's
And
it.
if you've done it with grace to begin with and been like, yeah, this is a cool opinion that I have, and then later on down the track, you kind of retract that and you come at it from another angle, and people are like, hey, you used to say that. And you're like, yeah, I did, didn't I? But like now
Yeah.
I think this because I've
That's it.
evolved. If you come at it with that energy and that kind of curiosity and just like, here's my opinion, take it or
Yeah.
leave it, people are more inclined to be like, oh, cool, she changed her mind. That's cool.
Yeah.
Instead of going, oh my God, Like, we need to cancel her because, like,
The world's just fallen from underneath me. Oh, yeah. Oh, what a great conversation. I loved it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.